Hey there. So we've made it through another crazy week. I don't know if you've been working from home or maybe you're the only one in your workplace, but we've made it through a crazy time, at least for this week. We'll do it all again next week, I guess. But for today, I want to talk about some of the scams and phishing messages that you might be getting as a result of all the hysteria that's going on with the COVID-19 thing. Um, there's always scam messages going out, but at a time like this when people are already kind of scared and nervous about what's happening, it's very easy to fall prey to these kinds of messages. So today I want to talk about just phishing and social engineering and just things to look for and be aware of. These are things I've probably talked about in other tips, but felt it was prudent to maybe talk about that again this week, just because it's you always got to be vigilant, right? You always got to be on the lookout for these kinds of things. So, phishing and scam messages, normally we would always talk about them coming from email, right? But in 2020, there's lots of different messaging platforms, right? Messages can get to you in lots of different ways. There's, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, pretty much any application that has a messaging component, something could be sent to you. Of course, there's text messages and voicemail as well. There's lots of different ways for bad guys to communicate with you and send you something that they hope that you'll fall for, right? Social engineering is all about leveraging the weakest link, which is always, us humans. And that's true. You know what? Humans are always the ones that are prone to make mistakes. We are the ones that are most likely to fall for a social engineering scam because, lots of different reasons. There's actually some specific ones. We usually recognize authority. If someone presents themselves with authority, we usually just accept that and take whatever they're saying as, yeah, I guess so. Of course, humans also suffer from fear. We might be scared of things that are happening. Likeness. We want to be liked. We want people to like us. So, of course, we're cooperative and friendly. That can be abused as well. There's something called social proof, which is about convincing you about norms, right? So if you see a bunch of other people doing something, you probably consider that to be normal. That's called social proof. It can be leveraged, again, to abuse you in certain ways. And of course, scarcity or urgency is a big thing that scammers like to use. They always want a call to action right away because they don't want to give you time to think about something and analyze it. They want you to act right away. And trust, right? People build up trust, and sometimes they'll spend a long time building up trust before they violate that trust. So, all these things can be used in ways to manipulate a person. So you've always got to be vigilant and got to be watching out for that kind of stuff. So these kind of scam messages, they can be very convincing, and seasoned professionals, IT people, security people, we fall for them too sometimes because they're that good. And I can tell you they're only going to get better as time goes on. So, you really got to look closely, but you can't feel bad if you're not always 100% because even the professionals, even they fall for these things sometimes. But, with a little bit of effort and a little bit of consciousness, you can eliminate, 97% of them. So let's talk about some of those things. So you get one of these messages, whether it's a text message, an email, a Facebook message, whatever it happens to be. There's usually some common things. They want you to open an attachment. They want you to click a link. They want you to release some sort of personal information that you normally wouldn't hand out to somebody, right? It's usually one of these things that they want to get you to do. So when these things come in, scrutinize who the sender is. If it's an email message, look at the sender's email. Does it make sense? Is that rational? Does it look like it's legitimate? Take a look at it and see what it's like. See if there's an ID. What does the ID look like? Is it legit? I don't know. Look at what you're being asked to click on. And a few tips ago, I think I talked about URL shorteners that hide the actual destination of a link. So be careful of that. If it comes in an email message or some other type of platform message, you can probably hover your mouse over it and see where that link is actually going. It might not be what it appears to be, but scrutinize the link. And there are actually services you can use that will test those links. And I'm pretty sure that I mentioned one of those in a previous tip too. But But be very careful with those links, because if it's not something that you know for sure, just do not click on it. If you have any doubt, go to the source of the information, right? A message comes to you, claims to be from the government of Canada. Well, you know what? Don't click the link that came with it. Go to the website yourself directly that you normally would. Go to, if it's your bank, go to your bank's website directly. If it's the government of Canada, go to the canada.gc.ca, I think it is. The official site, and then go from there. Don't just blindly click a link that you got, because, again, it could be malicious, right? Obviously, spelling and grammar are still big things. Even in 2020, for some reason, hackers can't spell things always correctly. So, keep a look out for those. Similarly, look for generic salutations, right? If a message says, hello, friend, yada, 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 or hello, customer, or dear customer, or dear user, things that are, again, that don't make sense, and things that don't make sense, that are out of context, right? Calls to action that are just out of context and don't seem to make sense. Look out for that kind of stuff. In social engineering, there is a tool called pretexting, and that's basically just impersonation. But look out for pretexting. Again, someone might be trying to impersonate someone with authority, and they might present that to you without much backing other than they say so. Look out for that kind of stuff. Often threats, very common voice phishing scam is you get a call from Agent 123 from Revenue Canada, and you owe a tax debt. Please pay it to us in iTunes gift cards. Yeah, no, that doesn't add up. That doesn't make sense, right? And of course, they also threaten to throw you in jail and stuff like that. So threats, right? Another thing to look for in a message. That's just, it can be very hard to give you a definitive list of things, because everything, has a context to it. But if you're vigilant, take these things in total and look at them, you can usually arrive at a pretty good judgment. On the service desk, people often forward messages and say, is this legitimate? And, for people on the help desk, they might not know, because they have no context, right? They don't know anything about the particular message that's coming. So they might not be able to make a very good judgment about it. Now, sometimes with a little bit of research, you can find out that, oh yeah, this is obviously a very scammy domain. Probably want to stay away from it. It's probably garbage. Some look very legitimate. It can be hard to make that judgment. So when you're looking at these kinds of messages, again, the biggest thing is to look at them in total, be suspicious, look at them with skepticism, so that you can protect yourself from being exploited. Because the last thing you want at a time when we're already kind of scared, a little nervous about what's happening, you don't want to give out your personal information that you didn't mean to. You don't want to click on a link and have someone infect your computer, right? Because this is a headache you just don't need right now, because we got other things to worry about. So stay vigilant and watch out for these scams. And remember how they work. Alrighty, I hope that's helpful. I hope that gives you a little bit of information. Questions, comments, message me, let me know, and I will help you. Alrighty, you have a great weekend and stay safe. Bye-bye.